All right, so basic tools will include a flathead screwdriver and these 10 millimeter wrenches. I'm looking to have the whole set, and that's really about it. Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Dan with our Gen 3 Prius. Sorry if you can barely hear me. I'm a bit under the weather today, but our battery came in, so I want to get this done and get the video shot to help other folks like myself out. Before I get into changing the battery, I want to show you the signs that your battery is dead, or it's going bad. In my case, when you turn the car on, this zero will not be there; it'll be blank, and also this ignition button will have a red light. And in my case, I have a 3 amp battery charger, charged it overnight, worked for a couple days, did the trick, and then again one morning, no zero and red light. That's a sign that either your battery is going bad or something's going on with your car. Alright, this is a 12-volt battery in the Gen 3 2011 Prius. This one doesn't hold a charge anymore, and so we're going to go ahead and change it out for this Optima battery from Amazon. And yeah, well, this is kind of hard to do with one hand. I will get back with you in a minute. Alright, remove the bolt here that holds this. I see here that there is a connector. Seems like it'd be smart to remove that. So give me a minute, let me get this out of the way and I'll get right back with you. Now we remove the bar. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the connectors here. I'm gonna go ahead and notice that this can come right off. Go ahead and try to pop this off right there, just like that. It's a little more clamps to work with both sides of the battery and get it out. So the application of the bolts here for the Prius, it's the Gen 3 Prius, it's all going to be 10 millimeter to remove any bolts, including the bolts right here for the terminals. All right, went ahead and loosened both of these terminals with this 10 millimeter wrench. Loosen here, of course, as you can see. Loosen here for this side, as you can see right. Let's see if we can focus. There we go. So on this opposite side, you'll see, go ahead and use the wrench to loosen that up. At this point, I'm going to go ahead, just wiggle these right here, and wiggle them off, and just get them off. All right, seems like this is one step here. We want to go ahead and snap this gray fitting they have here. It's going to prevent me from wiggling this off how I want to. So I'm going to go ahead and snap this off with a flathead screwdriver, and when I'll be back, this will be off and I can wiggle this terminal off. All right, so I actually wiggled this terminal off without taking this off first. It proved to be a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be to snap this off. As you can see, it's a pretty easy mechanism. Got my flathead, let's see here. Right here we can see the markings. Give me a minute here. There we go. Wait, there we go. So right here, simply popped it out. came out, but just the way it is, very tight clearance. Used this very small tip flathead to get that out, to pry that out. And so now I have the the terminal, without this gray, I don't know what to call it, it's like a trim to keep it from wiggling off in normal conditions. All right, so now I'm gonna just wiggle this one simply just by wiggling it off. Doesn't have that gray trim to prevent wiggling from getting it off, and I'll get right back with you. All right, simply just wiggle this off of the terminal here. I'm gonna set it to the side right here. So now obviously I have a pretty clear, pathway to pull this thing out. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out. This is, I assuming, for the gases. Get right back with you. So we'll go ahead and wiggle this part right off. And so now we have the port. Assuming this is for the gases. Go ahead and give that a sniff if you'd like. All right, looking around. Doesn't look like much is holding this bad boy from just getting yanked off of here. Go ahead. And we're good. All right. So now we have the Optima AGM battery. I'll pop that right in. Before I get started, I want to really point out that I want to leave these on until I finish placing this here. It's going to be a little bit of a wiggle to make that fit correctly. Also wanted to note the gas port is also existing here. So when we get it in there in a nice fit how you like it, we'll go ahead and pop this little port right in that hole. All right, very much pleased how this just popped right in. This has a essentially a cage so it doesn't wiggle, made for the OEM battery. This surprisingly, very pleasantly surprised that this pops just right in. And then now I'm going to go ahead and start getting everything together just how it was with the old battery. Essentially reverse engineering what I did to get it off, get the OEM off. At this point, can go ahead and tear these little knobs off. It's protective. If you leave that on, your battery will not work. So kind of hard to do with one hand. I'll get right back with you. All right, that popped in, and so now I'm just going to go ahead and tighten this with the same 10mm wrench to the same terminal, and then on to the next one. All right, I want to make a note that you don't want to over tighten this. You're not tightening the bolts of a car wheel. I mean, this is going to be a tight enough where you're just over, a little over, where you can just move the battery with, moving the wrench. I mean, that's good enough tightness. So we'll do the same thing for this port, and we'll get right back with it. All right, looks like our gray trim here will in fact work. I'm going to go ahead and put that back with this setup. Actually, let me show you, see if I can show you. So, wham bam. All right, and then as you can imagine, just pop everything in, and I'm gonna go ahead and tighten that. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this over to this port here. Let's see if you can tighten this up. There we go. So it snaps in, helps us from, helps this thing from getting loose. So I'm gonna go ahead and again tighten this bolt. All right, so I don't know if you recall, this is the port for the gases. It's gonna go in this hole. I'm gonna pop it under, just how it was when we first got here, and put it in the hole right here. All right, again, just very pleased how much the OEM frame for the battery works. Read somewhere that I may had to do some modification. I think this may have been the Gen 2, but nonetheless, it's gonna go ahead and use these screws. This one was right here, and then we have this one here, which is this one with the washer that's connected with it. And then from there, we're going to connect this port that we disconnected, remember, when we took off this frame. All right, just tighten the frame screws there. I'm going to go ahead and pop this in. And that's it. We are done. Prius battery is in. Optima battery model right there, DS4B2 Y24R. We'll put that in the description, but perfect fit for the Gen 3 Prius. Gonna go ahead and put this back here. Pop this trim out there. I mean, just the whole, of course, you know how to